start my debate on 3, 2, 1. Panelists, we think that status quo shows the punishment that towards the drug trafficker is not effective anyway, ladies and gentlemen. The moment we are only giving jailing or even second chance or even the rehabilitation toward the drugs trafficking itself, ladies and gentlemen, it shows to us these things lead us to, for example, giving more high degree of punishment. In this case, it is capital punishment itself, ladies and gentlemen. But in this case, we have to differentiate first what is within the user and the drug trafficker itself, ladies and gentlemen. We think that the moment you're giving the rehabilitation toward the user itself, yes, we think that it will effective anyway, ladies and gentlemen. But the moment you are giving the second chance or even the rehabilitation towards the drug trafficker, it will not happen. It will not create changes towards the drug trafficker because of the things that they only want is only, for example, finding more benefit at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Opposition cannot say they only, for example, trap in this drug trafficker trap in their condition, for example, only want to fulfill their economy or even trap in their condition where the high crimes of drugs is really high, ladies and gentlemen. We think that if this drug trafficker only want to fulfilling their needs, they will not, for example, trafficking a big number of drugs to make sure that they can make a profit, ladies and gentlemen. If they only want to fulfilling their needs, maybe they only, for example, selling the drugs in a small number or just because of they only want to fulfilling their needs, ladies and gentlemen. Going to my mechanism, we think that first. Investigation toward the drug trafficking will happen annually, ladies and gentlemen. For example, they already being the most wanted by the police just because of this because of we think that police already know who already know or even have information toward this drug trafficking that happen in the region or in the country itself, ladies and gentlemen. Second, we think that if they are doing drug trafficking in small number, meaning that they also have a get punishment but not the capital itself, ladies and gentlemen. Because of opposition may say they want to doing these things because of they want to fulfilling their economic, ladies and gentlemen. Second, third, we think that if they are already trafficking this drug in a big number, for example, in Indonesia, more than 1 ton, ladies and gentlemen, meaning that the capital punishment will goes to them, ladies and gentlemen. Going to my argument, first, why we think that first, under the justification, why is justified to giving capital punishment towards the drug trafficking itself, ladies and gentlemen. We think that they already make big harms to the vulnerable person itself, ladies and gentlemen. In this case, the youth and the children itself, ladies and gentlemen, because youth and the children is the most impacted one to this drug trafficking, ladies and gentlemen. For example, the children are irrational one to know what is the drug itself, ladies and gentlemen. The moment this drug trafficking goes to them, they only, for example, trying it without knowing what is the reason behind the drug itself, ladies and gentlemen. Second, we think that the youth itself, ladies and gentlemen, for example, or have an unstable emotion towards many things, that they are also the one, for example, always want to try something new just because of they are in the times of curiosity of the many things that exist in the status quo, ladies and gentlemen. It shows to us that it may very affected human's life, ladies and gentlemen, because at the end of the day, these children or even the youth itself cannot continue their life or even making good educations or even be good or even having a good rational thing, because of it is really affecting their mental health or even their body and yes. Thank you.
Why alternatives that happen in status quo like socialization towards to the children that how harms the drugs is not effective to build the awareness of children to not use drugs?
We think that the socialization toward the youth or the children itself is not enough anyway to the children, because we already know the socializations about the drugs and so on so forth is not accessible in every region in Indonesia, for example, ladies and gentlemen. It only exists, for example, in the city, but it not exists, for example, in the rural area or even the region, for example, that didn't get any kinds of exposure towards those things, ladies and gentlemen. It is the most targeted places to giving the drug trafficking by this drug trafficker, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, simple question. If that is the problem, we just add the programs of socialization in every region. So why we should give capital punishment?
I will answer it in my second argument, ladies and gentlemen. So back then, we think that it's so that's to say that it is justified to take the drugs right to take the drugs life, ladies and gentlemen, because they already harm people lives and so on so far, ladies and gentlemen. Second, let's talk about the drug trafficker harms, ladies and gentlemen. The moment first they already giving bad contributions toward the individual and the society itself. The moment individual, for example, are really most addicted to this drug and so on so far, ladies and gentlemen, it will create more problem, ladies and gentlemen. For example, people that in the less developed, less economic and so on so far, ladies and gentlemen, they will doing crime and so on so far, and it really harms people's lives. For example, in the society that already, for example, stolen their money and so on so far, ladies and gentlemen. But the question is why, for example, it will reduce the crimes of the drug itself in our side, ladies and gentlemen. First, we think that the moment we are, for example, giving capital punishment and so on so far, ladies and gentlemen, meaning that there is no more, for example, trafficking drugs that happen in the status quo, ladies and gentlemen. This boss of the drug, for example, will bankrupt anyway, ladies and gentlemen, because no more people, for example, that make the trafficking of drug happen in the status quo, ladies and gentlemen. But third, let's talk about why it will create changes in the capital punishment or in the CGS itself, ladies and gentlemen. First, we think that the deterrent effect will exist in our side, ladies and gentlemen, because it really showing to the society or even the drug trafficking that it is a serious crime that, for example, will lead to the capital punishment, ladies and gentlemen. Because of the moment you are only, for example, doing rehabilitation and so or religious things to these people, they will not, for example, they will not, for example, implement those things anyway. The moment they are going up, ladies and gentlemen, because of the things that they are really, it's not only, for example, the religious things that they will implement outside of the jail and so on, ladies and gentlemen. They already know they are trapped in the condition where the only what is getting more profit or a profit anyway at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. By this deterrent effect, it also create awareness to the society and even the socialization towards the questions that already bring by KR, and therefore those awareness and socialization will also create more impact or even more picturization how bad these crimes and so on so forth. So therefore we are really proud to support. Thank you.